because we have the two kids at home. So we try to, you know, get registration done as fast as we can. And I think they wait 2 months to give you your student loans usually, so that take forever. And make sure you're still in school and doing what you have to, you know. Well, yeah, midterm. When do they say midterm grades are coming out for you guys? Do you all remember? Probably it's usually the last week of September. So we should have this paper in, the code of ethics, and then the other one and the discussion board. So that should be, I guess in that sense, we're also putting up a new assignment. And that's the International Federation of Social Workers. Did you guys have any questions about the ethics paper at all?
We were just supposed to like give our values and like the job or like what you think should work.
So the first paper you would give like a job, like your description of social work and a job you like to work at. Code of ethics, you could also relate it to a job, but it would be something that you think would be easy for you, something that you would think would be hard. And they give like also decision-making models that they use, like if you have an ethical concern come up. The most frequent being like if you had a cousin come into the agency and we're not supposed to see them because it's a dual relationship. So it's just like giving examples of what you think would be easy for you, what would be hard, and then that decision-making model, which is let me see if I can get it for you. Is this your all syllabus? Let's see. 2, that's it. Yeah, intro, okay. So, and then all of the assignments are exactly the same because we have accreditation, so we always do the same. So students are to review NASW Code of Ethics, write a paper comparing and contrasting your personal values with the values contained in the code. Students should critically evaluate their own values and thoughtfully give examples of areas of compatibility with their own values as well as on incompatibility. It's only a few pages or 4 pages. Critical analysis is where you use the Lowenberg-Dolgoff ethical principles or Reamer social work values hierarchy. These are 2 models that help you make ethical decisions. So I can search those for you guys too. There's some that let you look it up if you do copy and paste and look up now. Or is that only on the phone?
You can do that, but you'll get like, that's why I asked for like a link because when I was looking up on Google Scholar, I don't know which one to write.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right, because they're going to have. Right. Yeah, because there's going to be lots of papers about it, is what it is. So you're right. Even here's like a bunch of.
It was pretty good. They had Reamer and like I'm not his name. They have them both, and then like they kind of.
Oh, that's nice.
Compared them.
Okay.
But it made it seem like they both had the same.
Okay. Right. So yeah, that would be it. And then for the next one, oh, that's weird. Somehow it's not letting me shrink it up. So yeah, the next one is our global social work paper. Yay. Hi, how are you? Good. Oh yeah, I should give you guys, I know it's not a big piece of paper, but I have a signage. Why does it feel like it's already the first week of fall? It's because it got cold. So yeah, that one on top is what's due at midnight, and then the next one is the global social work paper. Just to stay on top of things. How are your all's other classes going so far? So far, so good? Oh, are you a social work major? Social work is always writing a bunch of stuff all the time. It's crazy. So I have a quick documentary on poverty. I had something else I wanted to get, but it's on my thumb drive upstairs. So, what's that?
Oh,
So, any other questions for your all's ethics paper? And if not, I'll start this one and go run and get that thumb drive and be right back. And then I'll put up the global social paper tonight, just so it's up there for you guys. So this is getting into. All right, so this was made like maybe a good 9 or 10 years ago, but with some of the food insecurity and recession stuff coming up, like these same issues are starting to come up. There was like overnight a bank in China that was worth over, I think it was $200 or $300 billion collapsed, and it was the same as 10 years ago. Is this 10 years, or maybe it's 15? 2008, 2009. We had the same thing happen to the Lehman Brothers in the United States of America. And that's when we had the beginning of our financial collapse. So the same thing just happened in China, like literally at midnight. So as social workers, we gotta, kind of still push for that food security and then job security. And there's a couple families they follow in this movie that kind of show the repercussions of it. Some 45-cent shirts and 55-cent shirts. Some days they go like 10% off. So not too bad. So for some of your all's internships, this could be a similar placement, helping advocate for homeless families, like getting them, sometimes it's the temporary housing, and then sometimes it's to the permanent affordable housing. And also helping with the students in the school and kind of adjusting, because when they do go from having a house and bills paid for to like either a homeless shelter or a hotel to live in, there's a lot of adjustments, some things that they have to leave behind. The one said he could only fit what went into a suitcase, that was all he could bring. The others were just talking about, like just think of your normal belongings you have throughout the day. And if the economy hit a hard bump this year, if we had to only bring with us what fits inside of a suitcase, stuff like that. So kind of helps to put into context what some of these 3 different families are going through.
It's gonna be small.
And I may actually, since we are at the halfway point, I'm going to stop that here for now, because just doing one last check-in if you guys had any other questions for the ethics paper. Yeah.
but can I talk to you about it after class?
Yeah, that's fine. Sure. For sure. Because we were finishing up with this chapter, and the code of ethics, our responsibility to clients, we're actually on this last slide. Well, yeah, dipping into the next paper. So in 2 weeks, we have International Federation of Social Work. So starting to look into international social work stuff that's going on, and hoping that is an easy transition. Any of you guys ever been out of the country? Anywhere like Canada, Mexico? Which ones? Okay. They have a different system too, kind of more of a socialist healthcare, and it's colder. Did you guys ever go in the winter when it's freezing? Okay. It's nice in the summer because it's a little warmer. But so some international social workers go up there. More often we're like going south to Latin America and Mexico. So we'll get into that as I describe the next paper with you. Same ethical principles for social work apply to those, so that acceptance, individualization, Purposeful expression of feeling. The non-judgmentalism, I've said, is one of the challenges because it's hard sometimes. You want to go in to the family and see what's going on, and when it's a poverty situation, sometimes you want to judge what they're spending on, or judge how their budget is, or judge how, any single way, like maybe you could have gotten that cheaper. And that's not totally helpful. That's partly why we have one of these ethical principles of non-judgmentalism and unconditional positive regard. Also being objective. So just, kind of keeping an open mind as we enter and see these families, because with inflation at the rate it is this year, like we may see some of these challenges coming up again. It all goes into cycles. So economics definitely flows in cycles. Some other ethical principles in social work you could put into that paper due at midnight. So controlled emotional involvement, self-determination. Anybody know what self-determination is? Because that was always a tough term for me to figure out. If you were to make a wild guess, and there's no wrong answer, so it's okay. Yeah. Right, yeah. So it's that, like you said, kind of independence, and then self-determination is like we value what they choose to do. And yeah, so we can't force them to like eat a vegetarian diet and not spend a bunch of money on meat, or live simply and not buy an extravagant whatever. But yeah, you have to want it. You have to determine for yourself that you want it. And that's unique to America, because when you go, have you guys heard of any of the social credit scores in China before? Like kind of how you're tracked on your phone. Anything you look at on your phone, they'll look at your screen time, see how many times you type back and forth to somebody. They're like, so in China, it's called social credit score. They're kind of starting it here in the United States. And they kind of judge you on your decisions. They kind of judge you on like what you do, how you spend your time. Well, yeah, so here it is. Coming soon, America's own social credit system. So, everything we do on our phone, everything we type into it, everything we search for, everybody we talk to, everybody we text. Certainly there's privacy to some extent, but there's a few that, are coming to America. Hopefully this is just a quick 2 minutes that breaks it down well. But if you get a bad social credit score, they actually will even ban you from getting different loans to buy a car or different things to make purchases. So that's where it does kind of like affect us overall, which is definitely
So Young Hallyu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Hallyu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
Is a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen?
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands.
So this is like the opposite of self-determination. Just imagine every single thing you type in that phone or how long you're on it all day. They're just tracking that. Like, oh, you can't be on that phone, like they shut it down or whatever. So this would be the opposite of self-determination, which is control. Like they find ways to control you and like she said, it makes you be a better citizen. Like you text people less or you pay attention more. It's also kind of the opposite of independence and self-determination.
And ultimately controls in 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras.
People bothered by privacy concerns?
I think it's a lot of camera. Keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits, and scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Joe ID are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Ron Wade lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools. The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it, something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it. Janice McIntyre, NBC News, Beijing.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos.
So that would be the opposite of self-determination. I don't know if you guys have seen the like facial recognition stuff. I guess, is that how some phones unlock now? They do. Can they do it with a mask on? Really? So you gotta be like, so that it's crazy because it's cool technology, and at the same time you see how they use it in China. And they're like, all right, you know what? You drank too much Friday, or you were texting too long on Saturday. We're just not going to give you a plane ticket. It's like, what? So that's kind of the messed up way where self-determination could be used against us. We have something similar to that. You know, like here it says coming soon to America. It's going to be a little different in America. And this is from The Hill. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. Just like, I think they blocked my YouTube stream because I was showing you guys that movie. So certainly ours will be a little different because we do enjoy freedoms here that like people in China wouldn't be able to enjoy, but it's not going to be a ton different because they still do track that stuff.
The new domestic war on terror, kicked off by the riot on January 6th, has prompted several web giants to unveil predecessors to what effectively could become a soft social credit system by the end of this decade. Relying on an indirect hand from DC, our social betters in corporate America will attempt to force the most profound changes our society has seen during the internet era. Tate continues, quote, China's social credit system is a combination of government and business surveillance that gives citizens a score that can restrict the ability of individuals to take actions, such as purchasing plane tickets, acquiring property, or taking loans. Because of behaviors, given the position of several major American companies, a similar system may be coming here sooner than you think.
So don't really give too many details on how that would be, but obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen that where it says this website uses cookies to follow you. And some of them I don't think let you visit the website unless you say fine, okay, sure. You know what I mean? So or like you can't be seen on this website without. So that's kind of the opposite of self-determination. We try to allow for freedom and choices and things of that nature. Other ethical principles for social work are, again, getting back to that access to resources. So you'll hear me until you're sick of hearing me say it. Really, there's only 2 months left, October and November, about access to resources and basic human needs. So a lot of times that food, water, shelter, that's our first focus with clients, because if they are not safe and fed and well housed, it's hard to work with them. When we do start working with them, we have confidentiality and then the accountability. So that would be both with your client where, you know, there's a balance between empathy for their situation and then you challenge them to go out and apply for jobs and challenge them to get work. Also accountability as social workers where our supervisors will hold us accountable to make sure we've kind of covered, written our notes, and done things of that nature to work with our clients. So if this shows well, because I can't see it on mine, Here is the effects of social work values and principles in action. So with empowerment, this is the good side of the chart. Victimization is more the bad side of the chart. So when we do victimization, here's the social work and principles. We'll have like positive effect, positive manifestation. With victimization, there's more barriers and potential effects. We also have the value of upholding uniqueness and worth. So here we affirm personhood and affirm individuality. But when we victimize somebody, you stereotype, and then you have more impotence or the self-fulfilling prophecy. Promoting self-determination, that's the one we were just talking about. So you'll have efficacy, competence, and even partnership. They'll even develop alternatives and delineate roles. So you'll like find ways to budget better. When we don't have self-determination, you have control, which you saw in like the Chinese economy. Even advice and manipulation. So that's one thing we kind of stay away from as social workers. We don't give advice, which is kind of a tough one. It sounds counterintuitive. We can make suggestions and recommendations, but we're not like the wise know-it-all sage. Like everybody's situation is unique and different. So that's where we're not just like advice and trying to control them. What's that? Any questions on it so far? I know these are the big, again, this is stuff you can put in your paper due at midnight if you still haven't finished it. So like the incompetence and failure to change, and even dependency. So when you have victimization with the self-determination, another value we have is to communicate non-judgmentally and with acceptance. So we have openness, is lower defenses, and then strengths perspective. Yeah. The PowerPoint, I can send it out to you guys on D2 if you want. It's what's in the book. So this is just like the PowerPoint that covers the book. Are you guys able to get your books still? What happened with them? Really? Is it a digital one?
It was a book for your class?
Yeah, oh yeah. We're on chapter 5 now. That's why.
Wait. Pause.
I mean, I teach it in such a way it's forgetting that I know if you guys don't have it yet, you still can make it through.
Yeah, no, they didn't give us the book. When I tried at least, the electronic didn't work. I couldn't purchase it.
Okay,
I just.
that's good to know.
You put like these things on when you put it in D12, you say look at Reamers or
Right.
I just
Well, those are actually you have to search. So
yeah,
Reamers
that's
and
what I just thought.
right. You can do that. Yeah, you totally can do that. And like I said, I teach it in such a way that there is flexibility with it. It's cool to have as a reference when you like get all grown up as a social worker and have it. If they screw it up on giving you the book, you still can make it through. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. But it's cool to kind of see where this stuff comes from. So yeah, I can send this out to you if you want it. It's table 5.1. So we're on chapter 5. We're on week 5. They kind of like line up with the weeks, essentially. The cool part is overall being, doing good and service to others. Like these are most social work things, we kind of keep them as open source materials. So you can find this stuff all over the internet still. Oh, it's logging me out. But I'll send you the PowerPoint. Sometimes those are helpful. Say, are you guys, is it this class? 01? That's 2H, isn't it? So you guys are probably 1H. How's any other class going for you guys so far? What's the hardest one? Who teaches that? I almost feel like,
I don't even know her name.
okay. Is it all online? Those will be the hardest for me. I just can't do the online class. So we're on PowerPoint 5, PPT-5. Hello. So it'll send as a zip file. That just means you just like download it and it sends a big file through like a small area somehow. So let me know if you guys got that. Interesting. Oh, it wants the name field. PPT-5. Cool. So yeah, you guys should have that now. And if anybody needs a sign-in sheet or if you missed anything, it says that it's still filming it. So sometimes when I show those documentaries, it'll cut me out for a minute. But
Last class, I tried to look at the YouTube video and there wasn't one, so.
I wonder what we showed last class though. Did you look? So sometimes you also have to go to like the actual channel,
Channel.
right? Because that would be me, not like, getting very busy. And so like
Okay, yeah.
probably through announcements and then you would go to whatever.
I
Yeah.
see it now that I'm on your channel.
Okay.
Subscribe.
But yeah, sometimes like if there's copyright stuff, it will block out. I can subscribe to myself. That's weird. I didn't even know you could do that. So it'll block it if it's I'm pretty sure on HBSE we had a block the other day because of a video like that. But they should be in there. If this one gets shut down, I'll start another YouTube channel. That's kind of how it works. That's kind of like our own little social credit system. Like we have somehow I think they pick up on like music, or have you ever had a YouTube video where they like shut it off if you play music that's copyrighted? Right. Which usually you're supposed to be given a blessing if it's for educational purposes only. Like I'm not selling it. I'm not like trying to run ads on mine or monetize it. I guess I could, but I'm not going to. So, well, any other questions? I'll put up this next paper for you guys that will be due. It won't be due till the end of the month, but that's the.
We got nothing. How many pages?
It's usually one every 10 to 14 days. Oh, the next one. They usually go up by one page each time.
So what's the most pages?
We're only at 3 right now. I think the most we do is like 5 or 6. What do they have you guys do in your other class? You do quizzes and tests. What's the shortest? 500 words. How many pages is that? Like 2. And then what's the longest? This is just a few pages. The one for tonight at midnight, it's just 3 to 4 pages.
So how many words would that be?
See, that I don't know.
That's
That's
750.
I guess I don't know word. Anybody know words to pages ratio? That I don't.
Double space times 750.
It would be double space because it's APA style. So,
750.
and then references at the end.
How do you want those?
The APA you're saying,
The
or
references?
well, in APA you always just have them the very last page. It says references, and then the easiest way to find one. Say you're doing it on this paper, on NASW Code of Ethics, and probably Google Scholar is, I didn't type in Scholar first, scholar.google.com. Then you do NASW code. And then When you do references at the end, it's always best to have something in the past 5 years. So I always click on that, and then it gives you got full text all the way over at the end. And if you quote it at the end APA, you just do that, and it's alphabetized for you, which is real.
So you're supposed to copy and paste it, you know, like, because I know sometimes they'll put the title of the actual,
The website,
yeah.
right? There's a way to do websites too, and usually the best way to find that is on Purdue OWL. I'm not good at this stuff either, so that's why I have to use these resources. So Purdue OWL citation, if you have to cite a website, it'll just ask you to put the website into here, and then it cites it for you. So there it is. What's that?
I think the APA generator.
Right, there's several websites that do it. This is like the most famous. So say I'm quoting this website. I don't know why that came up. I must have quoted it before. I am not good at citations. That's why I will refer you guys to this. And I empathize with you. It might make you watch an advertisement before you get it though. But yeah, there it is. So then you hit cite. I don't know what Almanator is. Yeah, they always give you an ad. So that's where I think it's easy to get lost. But there it is. So it is a few clicks, but then, oh God. That's when you get annoyed. Oh yeah, this is where you watch the stupid ad, isn't it? They're like, all right, I'll go buy your cheesy poofs or like whatever it is. And then they give you a free citation. Or if you use articles, you don't have to worry about citing a website. That's the cooler part. Like if you just go straight to an article, all those citations are on Google Scholar. So there it is. It gives you the citation. You can copy it like that and you paste it in. That's if you do a website. Now, if you just do like the code here, you can look through these articles. You can do something that was even published since last year or this year. You can download the whole thing. Articles are generally better when you're writing papers. Websites seem easier maybe because you can do it on your phone, but Scholar's making it so you can type it on your phone now. Or you just go to scholar.google.com, that site up here, and then search whatever. And when you have to quote it at the end, you do that. And that's super quick. That probably saved my. Now, if you were citing this in the middle of your paper, though, you would probably want to write he and Zoo 2021. So, like, if you direct quote them, say he and Zoo say that the NASW Code of Ethics is important, so we don't have social workers doing unethical things throughout the year. He and Zoo 2021. That's kind of how you cite it, and that way you cover your behind for like giving people credit for their work, and then the plagiarism piece. So that way it's not an issue. I do like when you can download the whole paper though, is then you have it forever, and it's not very much space. It's not like a picture, where pictures take up a ton of room on your phone or on your computer. One of these things would just be probably like 10 gigs. Oh yeah, it downloads it down here. And you open it up and you can save it however, or you can print it and save it as a PDF. And that way you don't have to like forget where you searched it. And if in social work, a lot of times we have you like find your area of interest. And this goes the same for any other major. Like what is your niche in your major? And at the end, you write a big long paper I had to write a 35-page thesis for my undergraduate degree. And you've got all these papers here to cite from. So you've got them all. And that's why I would recommend downloading them and just saving them to a folder. Like whatever your favorite area of your research would be. And you can print it somewhere. Oh yeah, save as a PDF. So that would be it. Because I don't have any way to print from here. It looks like I've done this a bunch of times. So yeah, that's kind of does that answer your question about citations or like, sweet. Any other questions? Because that is all I have for today. I know we're pushing 10:30 already. Holy crap. Cool. Well, I will stay here for questions, and you guys are free to go. Here's your sign-up sheet if you want to, or watch the YouTube video and ask a question on there.
That's an excellent question.
Somebody asked what made me choose APA over MLA. That's because we're CSWE accredited. So to stay accredited by the Council on Social Work Ed, it's APA. Who still uses MLA for you guys? Is it just English or history? Okay. Yeah, when you do behavior sciences, they always do the APA. I know it sucks. But if you learn it now, you'll have it through graduate school or the end of your career, kind of.
Okay, so for this paper,
Uh-huh.
this
For-
paper, right? So I was reading what you had put in detail